Good morning, children. Welcome back. Hope you all are fine. In today's class, we will study about Quit India movement. We know Congress declared Swaraj as its aim, and January 26 had been celebrating as the Independence Day. Yet, this celebration was not able to bring much changes in attaining the aim of Congress. And during this time, an important incident happened. It was the beginning of Second World War. In September 1939, the Second World War began when Nazis invaded Poland. Without consulting with Congress or the provincial ministries, British government took India as a party in the war. This decision was not at all possible for Congress to accept. According to the Congress leaders, it was not possible for an enslaved nation to fight for freedom. So, they protested against the decision of British government in dragging the country to the war. So, they demanded that India should be given an assurance of providing dominion status before actively participating in the war. But the Viceroy was not able to provide the Congress as well as its leaders any such assurance. When the Congress leaders realized that British had no intention of listening their demands and they are not going to provide the country dominion status, as a part of protest, they resigned from the provincial legislatures. It was a matter of great happiness to the British government because by that time Congress had formed ministries in different parts of the provinces, and when those governments were withdrawn, when resigned, the British felt that the resistance of Congress would be lessened, and this resignation of the Congress ministers were celebrated by Muslim League. They observed this day as a day of victory and jubilance because by that time the gulf between Congress and Muslim League became so wide apart. The Muslim League felt that it was not possible for them to achieve their aims under the Congress rule, and this feeling was supported wholeheartedly by the British. So, when the Congress resigned, it was celebrated by the Muslim League. A lot of changes had happened in 1940. The government had changed in Britain. Winston Churchill became the new British Prime Minister. He decided that the standstill that had been taking place in India should be ended. So, according to his instruction, the Viceroy, Lord Lillington, declared a plan which is called the August Offer. The suggestions put forward by Lord Lillington was called as August Offer because it was declared in August 1940. But both the Congress and Muslim League rejected the August offer. Congress rejected it because the government gave an assurance through the August offer that no constitutional reforms would be implemented without consulting with the minority. Muslim League rejected the August offer because it did not clearly specify anything about the creation of a new country called Pakistan. These all are the situations that existed in India on the eve of Quit India movement. Let us study the causes that led to the beginning of Quit India movement. We have already learned that the Second World War was already started and Britain was fighting against Germany and Italy. By 1942, Japan had made considerable advancement against Britain. In Asia, a large portion of British territories or British colonies were in close contact with the Japanese territory. And so, any advancement that Japan made in Asia would influence the British authority very badly. And so, Britain felt that it was very necessary to take some positive changes in India to end the standstill, to end the deadlock that had been existing in India between the Congress and the British government. So, the Prime Minister Winston Churchill sent Stafford Cripps to India to suggest measures to end the standstill between the Congress and the government. So, in 1942, Churchill sent Sir Stafford Cripps to India. The mission headed by Sir Stafford Cripps was called as Cripps Mission. The Cripps Mission had put forward certain constitutional reforms. It is suggested that a constituent assembly would be framed in India to draft a new constitution. India would be given dominion status when the war is over. There would be a federation in India with the British territories and the princely states. If any princely state does not like to become a part of the federation, have the option of remaining as a separate federation. Any princely state that does not want to join with the federation would be allowed to obtain separate dominion status. The provinces would be free to join with the Indian Federation. If they wish, they have the freedom to frame their own constitution. Provisions would be made for protecting the rights of minorities. During the critical years of the war, the power of the viceroy would remain with him without any change. But the task of organizing military and material resources of India would be the responsibility of the government with the cooperation of the people of India. These all were the suggestions put forward by the Cripps Mission. The Cripps Mission was a failure. All the parties of India rejected the proposals put forward by the Cripps Mission. It did not give any assurance that India would be granted independence in the near future. The Muslim League opposed the creation of a single union. The proposals did not accept Pakistan specifically, and it did not give the power to self-determination to Muslims. Because of these reasons, the Muslim League opposed the proposals put forward by Stafford Cripps. The Hindu Mahasabha rejected the mission because they feared that the country would be parted. The Sikhs, the Anglo-Indians and Indian Christians opposed the suggestions because they feared that their rights would not be safeguarded. There was no suggestions in the proposals given by Sir Stafford Cripps to safeguard the interest of these minorities. The people of the princely states had no right to send their representatives to the Constituent Assembly. Instead, their representatives would be chosen by their rulers. Congress opposed the proposal because of the non-accession of the provinces. Gandhiji termed these proposals as a post-dated check. Post-dated check means a check which can be encashed only in a future date. That means because of the Cripps mission proposals, Indians would not get any immediate benefit. Not only that, Congress demanded that all the responsibilities should be granted to the Indians, including the decisions with regard to the defense of the country. That means a national government with full responsibility should be formed. So, in short, we can find that all the concerned parties of India, all the stakeholders opposed the suggestions put forward by Sir Stafford Cripps. Japanese threat was another important reason behind the Quit India movement. In 1942, Japan attacked Burma, which lies very close to Assam. Assam is a part of British India. So, Congress feared that because of the presence of British in India, Japan may attack India, because Britain and Japan were opposing parties in the Second World War. The only way to save the country from a possible Japanese attack was the leaving of British from India, because Japan did not have any personal enmity with the Indians. They were fighting against Britain. So, if British leave India, Japan may not attack India. A possible Japanese attack could be averted if the British quit India. So, in order to safeguard India, Congress decided to launch a Quit India movement. The All India Congress Committee met at Bombay on August 8, 1942 and approved the Quit India resolution. Followed by the passing of the Quit India resolution, Congress started to follow non-violent methods for achieving the aims of Quit India resolution. In his speech, Gandhiji declared that it was a decision to do or die. There were strikes and demonstrations and hartals all over the country. The symbols of British power in India were attacked. People picketed government offices, railway stations, police stations, and courts. The government took all the possible measures to suppress this movement. A large number of Congress leaders were arrested and their properties were confiscated. Once more, Congress was declared as an illegal organization. Lathi charges and police firings took place in different parts of the country. Nearly 10,000 people had died in police atrocities and shootouts, and nearly 60,000 people were arrested and sent to prison. In many parts of the country, military swung into action to suppress this mass movement. The revolutionary villagers had to pay huge amount of money as fines. India had not witnessed such a repressive measures taken by the government after the revolt of 1857. Because of these cruel suppressive measures initiated by the government, it was able to crush the Quit India movement. In spite of these repressive measures, Congress was functioning with the help of underground leaders. A very large number of Congress leaders had gone underground to escape from the arrest. In many parts of the country, the revolutionary leaders set up parallel government. Jayaprakash Narayan, Ram Manohar Lohia, Aruna Asaf Ali and Nana Patel were some of the prominent underground leaders. Though leaders of the Congress were arrested, the Quit India movement was kept alive by these revolutionary leaders. Though the Quit India movement was short-lived and easily suppressed, yet it was able to make a lot of changes in the Indian society. It demonstrated in depth that the nationalistic feeling had reached throughout the country. It made it clear that it would not be easy for the British to rule the country against the wishes of the people. It was a mass movement before attaining independence. People from all walks of life, people from every nook and corner of the country had actively taken part in the Quit India movement. It strengthened the Congress Socialist Party because of its active participation in the underground revolutionary movement. When the Congress leaders were arrested, the leader of Congress Socialist Party, Jayaprakash Narayan, kept alive the movement. After the suppression of the Quit India movement, the constitutional questions remained dormant till 1945. After the suppression of the Quit India movement in 1942, there was hardly any political activity took place in India till the war ended in 1945, because almost all the important leaders of Congress who initiated, who led the movement were arrested, and unfortunately no new leader came to their position. Thus, though the Quit India movement was not able to bring much changes in India, it showed the British that it was no more possible for them to suppress, to rule India as they used to do. So far, we have studied the circumstances that existed in India before the Quit India movement and the causes of the launching of the Quit India movement. We have learned the failure of the Cripps mission as well as a possible threat of Japanese attack were the two causes behind the Quit India movement. We learned that Gandhiji demanded the British to quit India because India may be attacked by the Japanese army. We have learned that the movement was very brutally suppressed. Though the Quit India movement was not able to make much changes, it taught the British a lesson that it would not be possible for them to rule India anymore. These points are clear to you. If you have any doubt, as I used to say, you are free to contact me through the school app. It is enough for today. Take care.